Raquel, welcome to Bourbon and BS.
Finally!
Woo!
And I totally disappoint. I said I was going to bring tequila, but I actually had enough tequila last night to last me for the rest of the week.
So she's detoxing now, everyone. This is a detox drink. Tell us what you're drinking.
Kombucha.
Kombucha.
Is that, how would you pronounce it? Because apparently some people say kombucha and some people say kombucha.
I say kombucha, what you just said. Like that's how I pronounce. I don't know.
Yeah, it's funny because I was actually introduced to it. I want to say over a decade ago because I'd gotten my yoga license as a yoga instructor, my RYT, in 2008, and my yoga instructor, she's the one that introduced it to me. So I've been drinking it ever since. So I didn't jump on some kind of trendy bandwagon. I'm just saying.
Raquel, I mean, I'm about to. Well, no, I understand that, and I'm going to tell you a story about kombucha too.
Yeah.
You don't look like somebody that jumps on trendy bandwagons. You look like someone that takes the bandwagon that people jump on.
I'll take that.
Okay. See, yeah,
I'll be the conductor.
That's meant as a compliment. It's good. Hey, you just said. So, are you a yoga instructor?
I was for years, and I stopped teaching technically, I think in 2013 or 14. That's when I actually, because I went into the corporate world, and then my kids got older. They were doing the travel sports on the weekends, so I pretty much had to give up teaching, and I haven't gone back since. I'll take every now and then, but.
I'm asking selfishly because one of the things we do here is we do weekly workouts. Mondays and Fridays, we have meditation sessions on Wednesdays, and we had a yoga instructor that was doing Zoom yoga for everyone, and she just didn't work out for us. She didn't have sort of the yoga energy that we were hoping.
Okay.
And so we've been looking for a new yoga instructor that will do a Zoom class with our team every week.
Oh,
so I was like,
I have great references. I have friends that still teach and they do virtual, so I can let you know.
Yeah, perfect.
I would suck at it if I had to do it now. I wouldn't be able to touch my toes. I'd be like,
you're like, okay, everybody, do the thing I can't do.
I think I just pulled a muscle. That would be me.
Well, look, here's what we'll do. We'll connect afterwards, and then when we post this, we'll put the links to the yoga instructors. I'm sure they want more business, and why not spread the wealth? So is the artwork behind you yours? Did you make that?
Yes, it is.
You are so artistic. Tell me how did you get this artistic?
My mom's side of the family.
Yeah.
So my mom's an artist. My great aunt, Amelia, who actually named my 16-year-old after, she was a very well-known artist in Mexico. And she's of the same era as like Frida Kahlo, Diego Rivera. Like she knew Diego and Frida, like they kind of ran in the same circles at times.
Really?
But they were in Mexico as well. And yeah, so she has a museum named after her. She unfortunately passed away. My daughter and I had planned a trip to surprise her on her 93rd or 94th birthday because my aunt knew that I had named my daughter after her, but being that she was in Mexico and we're here, and it's when it was the 2010 blizzard.
Yeah.
Remember that the blizzard in 2010 in February, and everything was canceled.
Yes.
So unfortunately, we couldn't go, and she passed away. I want to say maybe a year later. But yeah, so and then there's even more of my family members that are artists, and so it's literally in my blood when I tell people like, like running through.
We see the great things you post all the time, and it's just awesome. What a talent. Now, has that passed on to any of the kids? Any of the kids doing anything exciting?
Yeah. So oddly enough, my son, who's more the engineer, like lefty, all of that, he's really good. But it's funny how we all have, like my brother's extremely talented too. He's more like the cartoon vibe and caricature and graphic art. And then I'm more abstract. And then my son is very meticulous. Like he can grab a pencil or a pen and you would think that he was tracing something, and it's very detail oriented. So like he was obsessed with like all the games like Call of Duty and Fortnite and all those, and he would draw the covers and the characters. And I honestly thought like he was tracing them, but no, it's so detailed. So I always told him he'd be a great architect.
And was he one of the kids in school, since he had the ability to do this with a pencil and he's not like doing clay or abstract art, was he the one in class that by the time the class was over, there was a piece of paper with some beautiful picture on it or some doodles on it, every one of them?
Pretty much. Like he was always doodling and always drawing pictures, even like at the table. We have a bunch of pictures of him drawing. And oddly enough, came home for this week. He's a sophomore at Virginia Tech.
Awesome. Wow,
And
what a great school.
yeah, and so he came home and apparently he picked up a pen or pencil and was drawing. And so my ex was like, did you check it out? I have to look at it. I don't know if Nicholas took it with him or not, but I have to look at that picture. But he said he started doodling for the first time in like a really long time.
That's fantastic. And so how about, okay, so that's the artistic side. Do your kids do sports? Are they athletic as well?
So this is funny because my 16-year-old's over there on the couch, and I know she's
hear this?
all of this, and she's
Oh,
thinking, and she just smiled.
Tell her we're gonna call her over soon. We have some questions for her.
Yeah, she's like,
tell her she can drink some kombucha.
There you go. She actually likes it.
I love kombucha.
He was a softball player.
Okay.
She played softball for a really long time. Travel. She was shortstop. So she was fast, and she still plays for her team at school, but obviously with the pandemic, we'll see how that goes. They're not practicing or anything, but yeah. So she's softball, and my son played baseball.
Yep.
He was a lefty pitcher, and my ex-husband played baseball.
Sides.
Yeah, well, my ex-husband, he was a baseball player, and he played in college for a little bit, so that's where they get that part of it. But funny, he didn't ever push them to do that sport. They kind of just naturally had a knack for it. I was a tennis player, and neither of them took that on.
I love tennis.
I played tennis in high school.
Do you like to watch Nadal play and watch his OCD every time he serves? His this, pick his butt, the whole thing. Do you see that? Come on. You know what I'm talking about.
I don't watch it as like I used to. So growing up, the reason why I was into tennis was because my parents were obsessed. I mean, we always had tennis matches on the TV. Like every single tournament was on there. I was a huge fan of Billie Jean King. I mean, I sent her like fan mail. I drew a picture of her and sent it to her. John McEnroe play, Stefan Edberg, Jimmy Connors. I mean, all that whole era, Chris Everett, like obsessed. And then just like the newer generation, I just don't watch it. If it's on, I'll totally get into it, but I don't purposely, look out to see. I forget when the Grand Slam tournaments are.
Yeah, if you're seeing it, it's on, you're in it, but otherwise you're not setting a calendar reminder to watch it.
Right, like my parents did pretty much.
Yes, I bet. Okay, now listen, let's get your daughter into this conversation. This is a very special question. We like this question a lot here on Bourbon. Ask her, and then I'm going to listening. Ask her, what does she like better? Sour gummy bears or gummy worms, or regular gummies?
I like the
Sour.
What about you?
You know what? I would say sour, but I do have a sweet tooth. So I mean both.
I said the sour gummy worms, but the regular gummy bears.
Oh, she said sour gummy worms, but regular gummy bears.
I understand her 100%. I know where she's coming from. That too. I'm there with her. I'm in that exact category. Okay, here's another one for both of you. When was the last time you guys had Brenner? Breakfast for dinner?
You know what? I do intermittent fasting.
Okay.
And I'm not a breakfast person, so that it wouldn't be me. Amelia, when's the last time you had Brenner?
I hate breakfast.
She's not a breakfast person either. She took it after me. So, but 2 days ago, I don't know what was going on. I was craving bagel of everything bagel with cream cheese and lox. I went to Wegmans and I got myself a fresh bagel, a single serving of cream cheese, and some good old smoked salmon, and went to town on it.
Listen, that's going to be
the Jewish side of me that was like coming out fully. Like,
listen, that's going to be another podcast we start, right? Bagel, salmon, and something, because I love that. Give me that breakfast any day of the week.
Well, then, I'm assuming you do Brenner all the time then, if you ask me that question?
Of course, the answer is yes. Well, and I was going to say it was probably yes for you when your kids were 5, 6, 7, 8, right? So I have an 8 and a 6-year-old. She's about to be 6, and so Brenner is like it is like a birthday party every time we have it, right? You're talking about waffles with whipped cream and syrup, and you have strawberries and raspberries and blackberries, and that's so we spoiled them by doing it a few times, and
Okay.
now it's like every other day they'll be like, "Is today the day we do it?" Did we skip a day? I don't remember if I ate it yesterday. Is today the day? And we're like, let's just do it next week.
I love
But
it.
no, Brenner is a fun thing. I feel like it is like going back in time. Like when your kids were younger, did you do it then?
They would eat what was it? Legos were Egos. Lego my Egos. That's what
Legos.
Legos. Well, they like Legos too. Well, my son likes Legos. But Egos, they could eat Egos all day long. Like actually, my son was obsessed with frozen ones. And yeah, she's like, yeah, it was. Yeah. So waffles
So
was their thing.
So waffles was their thing. So when it comes to breakfast and some kind of special breakfast, if there was French toast or pancakes or waffles on the menu, your kids will go waffles.
Yeah, waffles. Yeah, waffles. I would go French toast. So my mom used to make French toast when I was a kid, and I was obsessed with French toast. Like she'd load it with cinnamon, and oh, so good. So that would be my thing.
And when would you do that? Would that be only weekends, or would it be random?
Mainly weekends, because unfortunately my mom hated like getting up with me in the morning for school. So I always got up and never ate breakfast. So it was on the weekends. I was that kid that was like, my parents were still asleep and I'm like, bye, off to school. They're like, bye. Oh yeah. And yeah, I wasn't lucky enough to have that. So I try to do that with my kids when they were growing up, like get up and have them eat breakfast. But a lot of times they wouldn't want to eat breakfast. I was like, darn it. I'm trying to be a good mom and actually get my ass out of bed. And like my mom did. Didn't care.
So let's stick with food for a second.
Okay.
Fried chicken or grilled chicken? What would you prefer?
Fried, anything fried. Even though I don't eat meat anymore. I haven't.
No more meat.
I watched that Game Changer documentary on Netflix last year. A friend of mine was like, "Hey, you got to watch the Game Changer," and it was last October. And so now I'm going on a good year of being a pescatarian. So I tried the whole plant-based thing with the vegan. I think I went vegan maybe for a good month or so, and I love cheese and sushi way too much.
Right. Yeah, you can't give that up.
But the meat part of it, I haven't missed it. Like I thought I would, because I did like a good old cheeseburger and steak and ribs. I mean, I was like a meat eater, and for me to just kind of cold turkey, I'm shocked that I've gone a year. Now I'm just scared. Now I'm like, if I eat meat, like I will die probably.
Yeah, it'll be uncomfortable. Now, when you watch that show, there's everyone I speak to that watches that show, that documentary, which by the way, we'll maybe put a link on this as well. There's everyone hears something a little different that goes, now I get it. Now I want to stop. What was it that you heard that you were like, okay, now I'm in, like now you got me.
Yeah.
Which part of it were you like, you may have watched the whole thing anyway, but at some point in the episode, you're like, I'm going to try this. Do you remember what it was?
Really kind of like resonated was when I'm a very visual person, and my dad's a cardiologist. So I grew up with a dad who's a heart doctor and everything. But what's funny is that my dad, being a cardiologist, never ate well. Like he was the one that would eat crap. He'd eat the KFC, the Domino's pizza, the, Coke in the morning.
Yes.
And my mom was the one that was always had the fresh produce, and we never had anything in the freezer. So everyone thought that I ate really healthy because of my dad. It's because of my mom. So I can relate to like blood and anything that has to do with clogging arteries and for instance. So they did a study with 3 football players.
Yep. And
they each had a burrito. One burrito had steak in it. The next burrito had a chicken, and then the other one was vegan. And they had 3 of them, and then they took their blood. So when they took their blood, they noticed that the one with the steak, it was like pretty coagulated and pretty cloudy. And then the chicken was a little bit less. And then the vegan burrito was like super clear. It was like pretty clear, the blood. So that kind of struck me because I was like, oh, like if that's what's happening to my blood when I eat meat, like that's a heart attack or a stroke waiting to happen.
And
so
these are football
that kind
players.
of affected me.
Yeah, listen, that was mine too. So when that part is what made me want to do
you
it.
too?
That's the one that struck me too. My buddy who works at, I know, right? Cheers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like I should be drinking.
Yes,
like
that's the point. So yes, my buddy who works out regularly, when he saw it, the thing that made him flip was like the guy, the strongest man, when he said he's been doing it for years. Yeah, like that was his thing, that he saw the football, obviously he saw the whole thing, but he's like, I wasn't convinced. And then to see the strongest man go, oh, I can put on size with eating nothing but, and that's what made him switch. And then I can't remember, my other buddy too, who's an attorney actually.
Okay.
He switched. There was a part in there that there was a runner. Remember the runner, the not the runner, the cyclist, the woman cyclist.
Yes.
That was the oldest on the team and set the record and came back from behind to win the whole, which again, if you haven't watched it, everyone should watch it, even if they don't, change the way they eat.
It's interesting. And even the football, even the Titans, they had, I think, 14 players out of their 18 players or something. 14 of them were on the vegan diet, and they said they had one of the best seasons like ever.
Yes.
Just because just the way their body was reacting to it in a way that they had like more stamina, or I don't know what it was, but I do remember that part too. I was like, wow, I mean, that's pretty hardcore for football players.
Yes.
Vegan and kick ass still.
Yeah, because we've heard for so long that you can't get protein out of
the animal fat.
Leaf. Exactly. Yeah. And it's cool. That's awesome. So that's what made you go and say, hey, I'm going to stop eating meat. That's cool.
Well, I was like, I'm going to try it. I mean, my friend who was doing it at the time, he's very active and very healthy. And he was always kind of on a Mediterranean diet. And he was like, I'm going to try it. And I was like, I'm going to try it too. So we kind of decided to try it at the same time. And he could only go, I think, 3 weeks. He couldn't even make it to Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
He's like, I need my meat. I need my eggs, all of those things. But hey,
I get him. So I'll say this. I don't eat meat the same way after that ever since watching that.
Yeah.
And I went a while without meat at all. And then I too kind of missed it, but I've made it, I've limited it, and I'm conscious of it, right? Like when it comes up, I get conscious. That's which I think is so. Sticking to the food still, when you go to a restaurant and you have an option between soup and salad, what do you go for?
I always go for salad. I've never been a soup. Okay, I'll do soup, but I've always been a salad girl. Like I love salad. I actually had a salad just before we got on.
Yeah.
But I'll do salad. So I'll get like one of those mixes at the grocery store, like a kale mix, but then I'll add tuna for my protein. So I'll do tuna with the kale mix, and then like throw some almonds in there, pita chips to add a little bit of like the crunch and kind of and everything, and just throw veggies I'll do soup, but I don't know what it is. I think it's the sodium that scares me because there's so much sodium in soup.
You're right. You mean like the canned soup, or what if you made your own soup?
In general, I don't know myself making my own soup, but I feel like the only way for it to taste good is if you put a bunch of salt in there. I don't cook with salt. Like my food's pretty bland, but I'm used to it. And I don't know, it could be because my grandmother had hypertension, like she had and I think she ended up passing away from that. And so I don't know what it is where there's just certain things that freak me out, and it's sodium.
Yeah. I mean, listen,
sodium's some scary
It is, and it makes everything taste so much better, but it's so scary.
Yeah. Everyone's like,
why is that?
Lady.
Salt and sugar, they make everything taste better, and they're so bad for you.
Yeah. What about you? What do you gravitate
I'm a
to?
soup guy.
What's your favorite soup?
So I will go. So there's mushroom soup. If I can have mushroom soup, that's like my favorite. All kinds of
Okay.
different mushroom soup is like my favorite. Then being from Maryland, Maryland crab soup. I can't get enough of that.
Really?
Yeah, you're like, ugh.
Yeah, I'm more of like a matzo ball soup kind of gal.
If my mom makes it, if my mom makes matzo ball soup, otherwise there's
That
some different.
sounds good right now. It's a good matzo ball soup.
I see. I can tell what's in your future.
But I don't have. There aren't any good like Jewish delis around here or restaurants. There's one in Fairfax called Chutzpah.
Yeah. How
They
far
have
away are
a
you from
matzo
that?
ball soup, but that's like 35, 40 minutes from here. They have
You
a
gotta
good
make it. It's kind of it's not that hard from what I've never look at me talking about like I've made it. I actually don't mind cooking at all, but I've never made matzo ball soup. But I've been in the kitchen with my mom when she makes it.
Okay.
It looks pretty easy.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't attempted it. Maybe I should attempt it. Just, why not?
You made that artwork behind you.
Right?
I mean,
Cook. I mean, I'm making her chicken fried rice. That's like one of her favorite meals that I make.
oh, that's
She
mine
goes,
too.
no, you aren't. Well, I'm going to. The rice is sitting there cooked.
Does she cook? Does your daughter cook?
No.
No.
She's like, she makes pasta with butter. That's pretty much the extent of her cooking.
Hey, listen, she can survive on that.
Make burgers?
I can make
Okay. But lately she's been wanting me to I do a lot of chicken parm for her too.
Nice. And chicken parmesan. Yeah. Does she do salads with you too? She'll
do salads. She likes salad. My son likes salads too, but they're very specific about what they like in their salads. Like my son has a specific salad that he likes. It's like strawberries, mozzarella cheese, just like the romaine lettuce and pita chips, and then a specific strawberry vinaigrette. It's like the Brennan's brand. I don't know if you've seen it, like where they have like an artichoke on there or a strawberry. It's a pretty popular salad dressing.
Yes, yeah, I know.
Like,
We have it in the fridge. Brennan's
they like the strawberry vinaigrette, and so that's like the
that's a
specific
win.
salad that he likes. And then she'll kind of whatever I make.
So let me ask you this. Let me switch this to art because you have art behind you. I've always wondered.
You have art behind you too, which I'm sure.
Yeah, that's the kids. That's
the kids' art.
Yes, that's the kids' art. That's I call it our fortune is on our walls. We'll see what happens.
Hey, you never know.
Well, that's so let's get into that for a second.
Okay.
Like, how do you feel about the way artwork is priced, right? Like, it really is in the eye of the beholder.
Yeah.
Unless there's some sort of, just like maybe anything else in life, a little bit of marketing, promotions, and PR, and a little bit of created buzz. But like, how do you value art? How can you put a value on art?
That's a tough one because even when I get commissioned to sell my, like, hey, can you do something for me? Suha, she actually just commissioned me to do something for her husband for his birthday. Yeah. And so I had done that. And obviously she's like, you better charge me. And I did, but it's like, it's really difficult because, for instance, when someone commissions me to do a painting, it's what they want, right? They're telling me, like, she told me, can you do a butterfly? Because that's like my nickname. Can you do these colors? So then I'm invested in it, but not as emotionally invested as opposed to me doing my own, where this has a lot of significance and meaning for me. And a lot of people don't know what it is because I haven't explained it. It's very personal. So something like this, I don't know if I would even be able to sell it. Like, I don't know how many millions of dollars you could give me because there's such an emotional attachment to it. So I think it's very hard for the artist. It's not so much like what it's worth. It's more of like what it means to the artist. That's how I feel because, like you have artists like Rothko where it's just, kind of the basic colors and the lines and people can look at it and be like, I can do that. Like I wouldn't pay millions of dollars for that. I can do that. And you're like, I don't think you could, but okay.
Right.
Or you have someone like a Picasso or, Van Gogh, where these artists, it wasn't until like after they died that they were actually worth way more. And it's more because like, the story and the marketing aspect of it as well. Like, so I think there's so many different elements that go into it. But for anything to be really worth like the amount of money that they've price some of these things at like Christie's and Sotheby's and at the auction houses, I think it's kind of ridiculous, to be honest.
Yeah, it's
You know, 40,
insane.
what's the highest priced piece of art that's been sold? It was like 47 million or
Yeah.
maybe even more than that. I don't know, but I'm just thinking like, really?
47 million is what I remember.
47 million? Okay. Yeah. Yeah, and it just, that's like, I can't wrap my head around that.
Well, here's what I think. I think here's what it takes, Raquel, right? So I think first of all, art used to be based on, hey, this artist will never be around anymore, so this vision is not going to exist. So if they're dead, they're worth more. That's changed now because art has become marketable. It's become trendy. It's become.
And then you can print it. You could do prints. You can make it, duplicate it in a way where it looks the same. And now you have artists that are really good at duplicating and being copycat artists too. So yeah, I think it definitely has changed the way people view it, where it's always when the access is there. So it's like, it's not as valuable.
Well, here's what I think. And this, listen, I'm making this up right now. So check this out. I think here's what you do, right? Okay. You get a good friend and you say, hey, you're going to buy this from me for $100,000. And I feel, now,
find me that friend, because I don't
we'll find you that friend. That's the next part of the conversation. We'll find you that friend. However, I believe once you've sold your artwork for that kind of price, you're more marketable. Like everyone goes, why did someone pay that price? I think what happens with artists today, the new age artists, is somebody's willing to pay a large number, and then everybody else wants to know why they paid that number. Yeah. That's it. Like there's no more like waiting for, okay, well, this person is no longer in that period and they're not going to be doing those anymore. So it's limited. It's now, well, I'm willing. Who's that guy? Money Mac, the guy that does the Monopoly art. Have you seen this?
Oh, you know what? I think I've seen it, but I don't know. I don't remember who the guy is.
So your kids will probably love it. It's really like, it's like graffiti-esque, right? And he's using these Monopoly characters in it. And, you know, I think he's in his early 30s and he's selling for, you know, millions of dollars. And it's just because somebody was willing to pay it once. And I think that's what happens. So I'm giving you a really cool a tip, I think, or it could be worth zero.
Yeah.
You got to find someone that's willing to pay tens of thousands of dollars for one, and then the rest that you make, the bar has been set. How do you like that?
So who can we sucker into doing that?
I know. So we're gonna have to figure that out.
Right? Oh man.
Mortgage industry is blowing up. There are people have more money than know what to do with. This is your chance.
Yeah, but you'd be surprised how they still hold on to that money. I know, because I'm in the industry, like trying to sell my services. What do you mean I can't get that for free, dude? Like you're killing it. I'm trying to survive, and you're not willing to pay me whatever just so for the value of my time. I'm saying.
And you're talking about the social piece.
Just the personal branding consulting piece of it. It's amazing, and I don't want to like sound like like a or anything, but it's people want to know what they can get out of you for free. Let's be honest, like when you have conversations with people, a lot of people are like, hey, let me see what kind of advice you can give me, and I don't have to pay or anything. And there's a lot of that, and it's unfortunate. So yeah, it's a tough one because I'm a very generous person with my knowledge and what I know, and I try to help people, but at the end of the day too, it's like I also have to be able to pay my bills.
Listen to what
I'm willing to give you, help you with your business and your success. Like, hey, like throw a girl a bone over here too. Like,
you're going to earn it. It's not just throwing you a bone. You're going to earn it, right?
Yeah, and I'm very honest and transparent on my social media with that. And that's been a really difficult thing for me, having my own business and valuing what I bring to the table and what I'm able to offer to people. And it's still really hard for me. And I tend to get taken advantage a lot because of it. And it's only, it's not all their fault. It's my fault too for not like.
But thanks for getting vulnerable with us. This is beautiful. So check this out. I just learned this. This was very interesting. So about valuing yourself.
Yeah.
the reason actors and professional athletes, sports athletes. Wow.
Art athletes.
Yeah. So professional athletes, why they have managers and why they don't negotiate their own salaries.
They just say they don't know their worth.
They can't. They love it too much.
Yeah.
They love it too much. It's like you're telling me I have to, if I don't agree with this negotiation, I don't get to do the thing that I love to do. Like I'm just a kid playing my favorite sport, and I'll do it for free, right? And so I just found that out because I was talking to an agent, not manager's agent. I was talking to an agent, and he said that he's like Alex, the reason agents have jobs is because these people love what they do, and they cannot negotiate it because they will be like, okay, I'll do it for less. I'll do it for less.
I got it. Yeah, we're good.
Right?
I can buy an In-N-Out burger. We're good. We're fine.
See?
You know? That's kind of how I am too, where I've never been driven by money, but at the same time, like I need to be able to pay my mortgage and my bills, right? So it's like, but I love what I do. So it's just like really, it is a very difficult thing to negotiate. So I totally get that. And I didn't realize that if you think about it, yeah, you're right. Like it's their negotiators, period.
I had no clue either. I was like, why does every athlete and every actor have an agent? Like I can negotiate. What's the problem? And like, then
why am I paying this
childhood dream?
All this money to tell me what I should be making? And then you realize it's because
right.
I wouldn't be making anything if it were up to me.
That's right. That's right. Because you love it.
Yeah.
So you got to get your daughter, and she'll be your agent.
I think she's worse than me. She's my son.
She's like, yeah, my mom will.
I gotta get my son because he's the one where I'm like, dude, you'd be a great lawyer. So yeah, my son would be good. My daughter, she's a pushover like me, where we're just nice and try to, we're just like try to be nice and kind.
Oh my goodness. Well, listen, it's a cool piece of information that you know now. Like I thought when I learned, I was like, that's cool. I got to pass that on. As a matter of fact, it just happened this weekend, and I was like, who am I going to share this with? Like, who can I share this nugget with?
You're sharing it with me, but whoever's listening to this, hopefully it's like one other person besides Anthony on the call.
We get good viewership. We get into the thousands, 2000s.
Oh,
yeah, it's cool.
Yeah. Okay, great.
Really cool.
It's probably a good thing I didn't know that when I got on here, because I would have probably acted a little bit more professional. Right.
No, listen, we're drinking alcohol and talking about nothing.
And I have a beanie hat on and a denim shirt.
We're talking about nothing. Like that's the purpose. So this is very selfish. I may have talked about this before, but it's very selfish because I like to get to know people.
Yeah.
Like I do. Like I enjoy that.
I love it too.
And so like when COVID hit and we're not allowed to go out and go to events and meet people and talk to people, I was like, you know what? I'm just going to start calling people and recording the conversations. And since it's just we're not talking about anything, I'm just going to start drinking while we're doing it. And here we are. It's a very selfish reason this exists.
Right? And then you have people like me, like, can I please be on your show? I don't drink bourbon, but I'd like to talk BS. I'm really good
you'll drink
that.
kombucha.
I'm really good at some bullshit.
There you go. So what you don't know, Raquel, is since we've been talking in the last 90 seconds, 2 little kids have been crawling around my feet because they don't want to be on camera.
Oh no! And I'm sitting here saying have a potty mouth.
Oh no, they're good. They're good. I think they're trying to get my attention. Are you trying to get my attention? What do you need?
Hi.
Come over and say hi.
Yeah, I want to say hi.
You got no shirt on. You're okay.
Oh, something.
You're all right. I won't pick you up that high. Come here. Come. No, he doesn't want. He's being shy. What do you need?
What do you need, bud?
Oh, he wants me to play a video game with him.
Radio game? What is that?
Racing, and excited. Look at you. You're like, I want to figure out how to play a radio game. You mean I could be a switch operator?
Yeah, with like we guess like songs.
Mario Kart Deluxe. So we got 4 controllers, all 4 of
Okay.
us sit and we race, and it's kind of fun.
Do
Actually. I don't know
you
if you do
allow
that,
your
but it's
children to beat you, or are you like that dad that's super competitive? It's like, like I'm winning this thing.
yeah, I'm winning it. I
I
win it.
remember I'll never
Unless
forget.
listen, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say I'll never
No-
forget when I first was dating my ex-husband. I don't think we were married yet, or maybe we were just recently married. And his nieces at the time were young, and we were playing War or like one of the card game or something. And I'm super competitive.
Yeah.
And I was like, and I'm like, yeah, and I'm like being super vocal and verbal. And I remember one of his nieces turns to me, she's like, Aunt Raquel, you're mean when you play cards.
You want to win.
Competitive. And my and you know, my ex is like, Steven's like, couldn't you have like let them win? I'm like, hell no, I don't care if they're your nieces and they're, 6 and 8 years old. Like, I'm winning this thing.
Yeah, somebody's keeping score, and that's me.
Yeah, I was like, sorry, not sorry, but yeah.
So I'll tell you this, my wife is that competitive. I remember a story where this was probably a few years back, when she got a Fitbit, and her friend challenged her to a weekend, like, who can get more steps on the weekend, and it was like a challenge between her and like a few people. And my wife, okay, she was so competitive. She took her book.
Oh, and
she was
she's
walking
like,
in circles, reading her book in a circle. I'm
Yeah.
like, what are you doing? She's like, I gotta win this thing.
yeah.
I'm like, it's 10 o'clock at night. She just and how she even see where she's going? But she didn't hit anything. It was perfect.
All she had to do was like move her
She
arm.
just snuck her head in to say, I did 18,000 steps that day.
Oh my gosh.
18,000.
Well, I talk with my hands, and I realize that a lot of times the Fitbit will count like a hand motion as a step. So me like, I was hitting those steps. Like we had our company bought us Fitbits. I worked for a builder before the mortgage industry. And that was when Fitbit was like the latest and greatest thing. And so they bought us all Fitbits, and we would have like the dashboard where we'd all log in. We get to super competitive. And I was that person. And not only that, I have to go to the restroom all the time.
Yeah.
My office was like way far away. So the fact that I had to go pee all the time, like that helped.
She's like 38,000 steps, and that's just from and to the bathroom. That's all. That's
not fair. You always have to go to the bathroom. I'm like, I can't help it. My bladder sucks. Like
that's actually a pretty good strategy. Being far away from the bathroom is actually a decent strategy. Like that's a good move.
Yeah. So we would joke about how if I would tell the CEO, I'm like, is there any way you can get me a porta potty like outside of my office? I was like, because I gotta walk all the way out and then all the way down the hallway.
It's the gym membership without having a gym membership. You have to do all those. So it's funny. It reminds me of like, I remember reading an article that said, hey, steps. It was about steps, taking steps.
Yeah.
And they're like, if you have to go upstairs and get 3 things, get them one at a time, right? It's like, don't get all 3 things and come down, go up, down, up, and do that. And you were doing that naturally because the bathroom was just 2 miles away from you.
And I'm in a condo that's on the 3rd and 4th floor.
Yeah.
When I go grocery shopping, if I buy too many groceries, I gotta do double trips. And so like that's another one is I keep pretty much in shape just from my stairs.
Just from the stairs. Look at you.
Yeah, because I don't work
out. Natural ways to stay healthy. I like it. And you eat well. So that's great. So Raquel, I'm gonna wrap this up with 2 questions. I got 2 questions. Okay. One is very important. Okay, because it happens in every episode, and you know what it is.
You know what? I'm gonna say I don't.
Okay, that's good. You don't, but you will when you hear it.
Okay.
Pineapples on pizza.
You're right.
Yes or no?
No.
We're back to a no. We're back to a no. Yeah, I think we're still up in the yeses. We're actually at the end of the year going to calculate all of them and put a post up. So how many people like pineapples on pizza? I think we're going to be 50-50 by the end of this. So why not?
Does my daughter's vote count? Because she said so good.
So good. Well,
which is weird because you don't like sweets.
I like fruit sweet, but not like candy.
But on pizza?
Yeah, because it's savory and sweet. It's perfect.
So good.
Yeah, I'm still not. Maybe it's the texture thing on there. I don't know. I love pineapple, but just not.
Me and your daughter have the same taste. She likes sour gummy worms, but regular gummy bears, and she likes pineapple on pizzas.
Maybe you can be his next guest.
There you go. That she can't drink bourbon though. It's too. It's.
She goes.
That's right. With parent supervision, anything is allowed. With parent supervision, it's all allowed.
Oh, if you only knew as a kid, my mom being Mexican, and we would go to Mexico every summer and Christmas time, and they were heavy tequila drinkers, and they leave their shot glasses around. And let me tell you, us cousins, the parents would go into the other room, and we'd be like, taking the last sips of the tequila. So I've been drinking tequila for very long.
So you would be the one sleeping on the ride home to wherever you were, or at home, like the party was over and Raquel's passed out. She's such a good sleeper, your daughter. She is so good.
Quiet. Yeah, no, we were
She's so
bad.
quiet. See, I had a grandfather who I was born in Kiev, Ukraine, right? And so that Russian Ukrainian traditions, every meal is, a bottle's on the table, right?
Yeah.
And so my grandfather, he would have me sit next to him. He loved to have a good drink, and he'd be like, "You want to try this?" And it's a glass with clear liquid in it.
Yeah, and you're like,
I'm
"Ooh,
like,
water,
I'm like, yeah, I'll try that. Oh, it's horrible. Of course,
Yeah.
it's vodka, and it tastes horrible. But he would try it all the time until I was like, you know what, this isn't too bad anymore. Now I'm getting used to this.
Yeah, I like vodka and tequila. And my dad's side of the Russian Romanian Jew.
Yeah.
So I'm Eastern European as well. And so the fact that I like vodka and tequila, it's suiting that my mom's Mexican and my dad's Russian Romanian.
It's perfect.
So it's perfect.
And yet with us, you drink kombucha. I
Yeah.
understand.
So, I'm trying not to discriminate, and I don't want to offend anybody on either side of my family. So I'm trying to keep it neutral.
Keep it neutral. She went with kombucha, everyone. She loves you all.
Yes.
She loves the entire family.
Yeah, I don't want to offend anyone listening to this, which I'm sure I already offended a bunch of people by this time.
That's all right. Listen, the purpose is to BS. Whatever happens, happens.
Yeah.
By the way, and we're not responsible for how they feel. So hopefully they just enjoy it.
Right.
So listen, one last, one last question, and this is also a staple, and that is, what do you plan to do the rest of the day, Raquel?
My daughter just went, cook me dinner. So yes, it's about 6:00. I'm going to finish cooking her chicken fried rice. I'm going to take the dog for a long walk. Hopefully, I think it stopped raining a little bit. And then my daughter and I will just shoot right? She's
I like it.
Potty mouth. Yeah.
Can you take a picture of that chicken fried rice when you make it and then turn that into your next painting? Because it's very mixed up, right? Fried rice.
Yeah, no, she likes it pretty bland where it's just egg, chicken, soy sauce, and oyster sauce.
And that's it.
She already put everything out. Oh, look at how sweet you are. That's a first. She literally has everything laid out ready for me because I cooked the rice before, and then I got to just mix it all up together. But yeah.
It's cause we're on with you.
She's showing off, right?
Good job. See, brownie points.
You know what? I'm doing okay as a parent.
You're doing great. We salute you. This is great. Cheers. Doing this on Veterans Day. Say, hey, let's say.
Oh my gosh, seriously, to all of the vets out there that have served and continue to serve, we appreciate you. I have a bunch of friends that I already reached out to them today and was like, thank you.
Yes, we salute you and honor you, and it's really important, and I hope we continue to get better and better at honoring the vets in this country, and it's because what they do is beautiful. So it's wonderful. Hey, we got a Veterans Day episode here, and we had a blast.